Welcome to another episode of WMA Sportsman. I'm out here today on a walk-on area. It's a very hard place to hunt. I have been fortunate enough to kill 3 separate bucks out here over the years, all in tree stands, and I've shot a few hogs and a turkey out on this property. I've covered quite a bit of it, and I have a few decent areas that have proven themselves. However, over the past couple years, the spots that I've been going to have been getting covered with more and more people, and we got some cold weather here today. I figured it is a good opportunity to slip around the woods with the 30-30 lever gun and scout, try to find some new areas, and maybe slip up on something. It's cold today, boys. It's about 45 degrees, and it's going to stay that temperature. We have a pretty good wind coming out of the north, about steady 12 miles per hour, so it's an excellent recipe for slip hunting. I'm hoping to cover a lot of ground today, try to find some good buck sign and mark some good spots for me to go sit in the future, and if I'm super duper lucky, maybe get a shot off something. I'm not gonna hold my breath on that. It's tough to slip hunt in these bucks, but with this wind, we might be able to do it. So follow me along on this walking journey. We got a buck back here. I'm only in the woods about 200 yards. Found my first little rug. That's what I'm talking about. I just waded through that cypress swamp and curved my way back out. Over here. Got a good game trail on this edge. We're gonna see where this takes us. Been walking for about 30 minutes. In and out of cypress. On edges. Inside. Outside. A la Villa Loca. We're finding a fair amount of rubs from this year. A decent buck. It's got a nice look in here. Good little transition out there. Secure, thick, wet. I usually get out here at the end of season when everything else closes and all the other quotas stop. And well, I won't lie to you guys, I used to use the e-bike quite a bit to get away from people. And you know, I found some pretty good spots that way. I was early to the e-bike game. I started with the pedal bike and transitioned into the e-bike, and you know, used to find the spots on the map as far as ways I could go, and that worked for me pretty good. And then the last few years, what everybody and their brother has e-bikes, and those spots in the back that used to go to get away from people, that's where everyone's going. You go to the parking area, there'll be 6 trucks, and Lord won't you know it, all 6 of y'all are back there in the back. So the past 2 or so years, I've been essentially leaving that bike at home, because I ain't trying to go to the back and hang out with everyone. So I've been trying to change my tactics a little bit and find areas that don't have as much closed trails, have thicker woods that you gotta hike into. Oh, keep on slipping. Not too shabby. There's a scrape. We got a nice scrape. We got a couple big swamps. We got a good transition area here with oaks that funnel through it. Check it out. That scrape's back there. 60 yards, just walking this stuff. Look at this nice road. I like it in here. I might have to sit in here one of these days. I'm heading over to this low-hanging branch, see if there's any more scrapes over here before I keep on walking. Looks like there is. There's another old road. You can see right here. It's a good spot. It's a real nice spot. Cool. Hasn't been hit in a little bit. There's another old one right here too. So they just went through and hit this whole series of low-hanging branches. That's what you look for. I'm not a duck hunter, but I've been wanting to get into it, so I've been in these hardwoods and these cypress, trying to make my way to all these cypress ponds, and I see a little wood duck swimming. I think I found a good wood duck hole. We might have to sit on it here. I'm gonna try to get in the frame. There's a bunch of ducks. get at least a morning wood duck hunt in and then switch gears to a deer. They ended up swimming off in this cypress. I seen 4 or 5 of them. I think I'm not the best with my duck species, and that's kind of what's preventing me in duck hunting. But the one was a male and the one was a female. I was thinking a drake, and then whatever they call the female, a hen, I don't know. And then there was 2 or 3 other ducks with them that I think I got in film. I wasn't quite sure what they were. Alright, let's get back to deer hunting and cruise our way back out to this field edge. Oh, holy cow, look at this. Oh, turpentine. Clay pot. Almost fully intact. Right next to our wood duck hole. I'm sure if we look around we'll find some catface pine trees here. What a cool area. And then sure enough, we got some hog poop right here. This is a really cool spot. This is definitely getting a pin. Pretty fresh. This is awesome. One of the many reasons why I love exploring new areas. You go in there and you never know what you're gonna find. I just stumbled upon a badass wood duck hole, found some old turpentine pots, and I'm finding a bunch of buckside. What a great day to be walking. Hello. Hello, Mr. Scrape. What we got there? Oh, yeah. Oh, son. This little hidden jewel back here. Look, that's perfect tree, too. Right there. For the camera. The one downfall is I don't think I got cell service. So if it don't send me nothing, I'm going to have to come back here and check it next week. Camera on the scrape. I'm telling y'all, this area is absolutely littered with bucksign. Great spot. So far, most areas I've walked have had buck sign. This is the honey hole though. If I were to come hunt, which I will, I'm going to sit on this next week. So as I continue to walk, just gonna make mental notes. Good setup areas for the wind. I was walking and I heard some movement at Palm Meadows. So I stopped and I heard movement. I got ready and I seen a deer. It was pretty thick. And I thought I caught a glimpse of its head. I'm pretty sure it was a doe. I went in some thicker stuff and I waited about 5 minutes and I'm like, alright, I think I might have walked off. So I tried to sneak up on it. It busted me and took off. I'm pretty sure it was a doe though. I marked that spot as a spot where I've seen deer which is always a good spot to return to. I'd like to find a couple more deer spots if I'm fortunate enough, but I'm already ahead of the 8-ball. I found some good stuff today. I'm pretty satisfied. This is all fresh. If I wanted to shoot a hog, this would be a good spot to sit with all that fresh rooting. I've been walking for the past 45 minutes or so, and the buck sign's definitely dwindled down this area. Over at the duck hole, there's rubs every 100 yards. I haven't seen a rub in about, I don't know, a quarter mile. A lot more hog sign over here. I'm in a little, I kind of got out of the swampier hammock area. I'm more in the palmettos. As I said, hog sign, but not as much buck sign. So we're probably about to bust through this palmetto flat and go hit another series of swamps, and we'll be a good distance away from that first ideal area I found. Most likely these are going to be different deer. I did not get it on film, but I just jumped deer number 2. It was definitely a doe, small one. It ran into that, bumped it here. It ran into the cypress. I was making my way over this tree. I'm gonna sit down for a few minutes and eat some pizza. I've been walking non-stop since about whatever time I got out here, 9:30. It's 2 o'clock, I'm hungry. So I'm gonna take a little break. And we're gonna get back to walking. That's not the pizza. That's for after I eat the pizza. There we go. Step 1, step 2. This is thick, bub. What you doing in here? Pot number 2 of the day. That one's about, it was almost there. Very close to fully intact. In this swamp here, I started to follow a game trail into this stuff, and I lost that game trail and it got thick. I busted about another 60, 70, 60 yards, and it opened back up. We found what the pot went to. Check it out. Old cat face pine tree where they used to collect turpentine. That's a piece of history right there. It's probably been about an hour since I found any rubs or any good promising buck sign. And we just found some more rubs right here. So it's safe to say we're probably in another good area. Gonna mark that on the phone, keep walking. Keep my eyes on the sign, and maybe we'll find a secondary spot. You gotta love the color of that fresh rub cypress. It gets me going. I can feel it in my plums. I know some people say that when it's all clumped together like that, there's a good chance it's a buck. I reckon, shit, we'll mark a pin. But maybe it's where the buck's hanging out this point right here. You can sit out on that field edge, and yeah, you might see them, but I don't think that much stuff's traveling through there. I just poked into another cypress, going to check out this pond to see if there's wood ducks. And sure enough, here's some rubs in here. Pretty thick spot, but there's trails in it, and that's why I'm walking the trails. I'm trying to creep my way up here a little bit more and see this pond opening and see if I can find more wood ducks. This looks like a pond on the map. It's not. It's wet in here, but it's not like the other spot. Just little pockets of water. Alright, let's ease our way back out. We're kind of heading back towards the truck. I should be there in about 2 hours at this pace. We're starting to find some good buck sign again. I think we're gonna mark this area. One boy had some ivory on him. This boar hog was a damn stud. I'm trying to show you guys how big this thing really is. This is a solid skull. He's got these knots on the bottom of his jawbone. This thing weighs about 3 pounds. I mean, monster cutters. These ones are pulled out. The top one, I can only find one. That's a big son of a gun right there. Today, I came out hunting, slipping with the gun, and the main objective was basically to scout with the gun and try to slip up on something with this heavy wind. And I was able to find a couple go-to spots that I'm gonna go sit when I come out here next week. When I come out here next week, I'm gonna be deer hunting. I'm gonna sit in the stand a little bit, and I'm gonna continue to try to scout and move in on something and hopefully get a buck or two down before the end of season. I also want to try to squeeze in a wood duck hunt too. I'm not sure if I'll do that in the morning, midday, or nighttime. I've never done it before, but I'm gonna be sure to do that before the season ends this year, because I got that little wood duck hole and I want to get one of those things. And hey, what better first duck for someone is a wood duck. I appreciate everybody watching. We'll see you next week on the hunt video.